Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is your neighborhood friendly PRE, Mr. Justin Hamza Tyler. How is everyone doing? I'm so excited to be back to school for the 2022-2023 school year. How is everyone doing? Let me know in the chat, where you've been this summer, how you doing? Are you excited to come back to school or not? Just let me know how you're feeling in our comment section on YouTube and or in the chat section as well. So just let me know what's going on with you. But I have my guests and my friends here again this year to start off, strong, because we have to talk about a lot of things in terms of how to prepare you for this school year. And we have the wonderful World Cup coming up as well, and how that may impact some things this year. And so I'm not going to go too far into everything because introductions are overrated, right? Let's get to the meat of the sandwich. But before we begin, for all that are new to the community, my name is Justin Hamza Tyler. I'm your neighborhood PRE or Parent Relations Executive. I'm here for you in terms of a customer service perspective. So myself and my receptionist, we're here for you to answer any questions you have or to point you in the right direction if you are lost in what's going on in the school. And I have the principals here, the leadership team of GEMS American Academy here with me as well to introduce themselves. And we do have one new member of the crew, and I can't wait for you all to get to know who she is, okay? So I'm gonna put her on blast right now and say, Amber, can you let everyone know who you are? Introduce yourself first of the SLT team.
Sure. All right. Hi, everybody. I am Amber Rigton. I am the new lower school assistant principal. I am originally from the U.S., from Georgia, and I've kind of bounced around a bit. I've worked in the U.S., I've worked in Singapore, I've worked in Hong Kong, and I'm very excited to be here. I've taught kindergarten and I've taught grade 4, and now I'm excited to be joining you guys as the assistant principal for lower school.
Thank you, Amber. Appreciate that. We're all happy to have you here as well. In the short couple of days that you've been here, it's really refreshing to hear that wonderful accent that you have. Because my family's from the South in America as well. I love to hear it. So welcome to the team. All right. So in no other order, I guess we'll go with Mr. Mark first because he does run this whole entire school. So let's go talk to Mr. Mark first, right? And then from there, we all can go into the rest of the SOT introductions.
All right, thank you so much, Justin, and welcome back, everybody. It is so exciting to have you guys coming back on campus in a few days. We are excited. In my faculty meeting today, I said we are back, and then I elaborated on that. I meant we are back physically. We are here, but I also meant we are back, even with the newest COVID regulations. It sounds like this is going to be the most normal school year we have had in a long time. We're going to have canteens again. We're going to have after school activities again. Like, I am excited, really excited about this year. We have a great batch of teachers this year, and we are busy preparing for your kids' arrival next Tuesday and Wednesday. Justin, I've got a bunch of nuts and bolts type stuff, but that is a kind of boring way to start introductions. So is there a point later on where we'll jump into some of that stuff?
Yeah, I guess I can go over the table of contents if we were a book, right? So we can go over that right now. So what's going to happen is we're going to have the introductions of the SOT members now, just to reintroduce and also to introduce, obviously, Amber as our new member. And then what I have is a boilerplate of 18 or 19 different topics that we'll discuss. Some are going to be more in detail, some are going to be less in detail, right? But it just things that I thought about and feedback that I received from parents that I think that we should be giving answers to the parents. So if I have time, I can type them into the back chat. Well, we'll see where it is. But it's going to be 19 different things that I'll put on the screen. And then any questions after that, parents, throughout the whole live stream, you can put your questions in the YouTube chat or in the Facebook comments, okay? So at any time, just put those questions there. And at the end of these topics that we'll go over, after that, then we'll answer every question or response that you have. So hopefully that'll help. All right. All right, so who else wants to go forward at SOT introductions?
Well, we're also shy. Hi, so I'm Eamon Gregory. I'm the upper school principal, go by Mr. Gregory, and I've been here longer than Mark and everybody else here. So I'm the oldie, but not the oldie. Yeah, so I'm in charge of 6 through 12, looking after that program and making sure that our high school and middle school students have a great experience. Mr. Wessel will explain his role this year as head of middle school, but I'll let him talk about that in a minute. That's pretty much it. Nice to meet you guys. Looking forward to the start of the new year.
All right, I'll pop in there next, I guess, since we're in the upper school. My name is Mr. Jeffrey Wessel. I am the upper school assistant principal. And like Mr. Gregory alluded to, I'm also serving as the head of middle school this year, so we can make sure that our middle school students are catered to on with some of their specific needs. I'm looking forward to doing that. This is my second year here at GEMS American Academy, but it feels like it's been longer than that. In a good way, though, not in a bad way. It definitely feels like home in a short period of time here at the school. And I'll pass it on now over to our lower school.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mr. Jordan Shear, and I am the elementary principal here at GEMS. This is my second year here in not only at GEMS American Academy, but also second year in Qatar. It's my 18th year in education. I spent 10 years as a classroom teacher, teaching 3rd, 5th, and then finally 7th grade. And now I've been in administration for 8 years as well. I've worked in the United States, Trinidad and Tobago, the island of Anguilla, Belarus, and now I'm here. And as Mark said, I am excited for what promises to be a return to normalcy this year. And I'm excited to see what we are capable of as a school and what your kids are capable of as students. So welcome.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for going through the introductions. It's really important to start off the foundation correctly with the people who lead the school. So appreciate that. Now we're getting into the meat of the sandwich, right? This is a big sandwich today. It's a lot of topics, a lot of things to really go over, okay? So the first topic that I really want to introduce is more about student orientation. So as we know, we do have orientation starting on Tuesday, the 16th of August, right? And these are for new students on Tuesday, the 16th of August. But as an SOT, I want you to go through from a lower school perspective and also an upper school perspective. What are we to expect in terms of the student orientation? And also, can we clarify and go over a little bit more of the schedule? So I will go with Mr. Jordan first from lower school, then we can go to Mr. Gregory or Mr. Wessel at this time after that.
All right, great. Thank you, Justin. So our orientation for students will be on Tuesday, August 16th. For us, it's going to be more of an open house than an orientation. Starting at 7:30 and running until 12:30, we invite parents of all of our newly enrolled students to drop in. You get to go around, work your way around the school, pop into your child's class, meet their teacher, have a discussion with them, talk about what you're looking forward to in this year. And that's it. We don't have any fully scheduled programs for that day. Again, it's an open house, right? It is informal, but we're excited to welcome you onto campus to meet your child's teacher. And then our first full day of school will be on Wednesday, the 17th. And on that day, we welcome all students for a full normal day of school. Okay. If you are a returning student, we do ask that you don't come on Tuesday. We understand that you're excited to meet your teacher, but we are trying to reserve that day purely for our newly enrolled students. Okay. Thank you.
All right. And Jeff, can you fill us in maybe on the upper school aspect?
Absolutely, no problem. So in the upper school, we've got the same hours as the lower school. So we're working from 7:30 to 12, I believe, is what we have. I know they're going to 12:30 there, but 7:30 to 12. And on Tuesday, the 16th, it's just the new students. So just newly enrolled students. And we'll have, just some of the, they'll get to know, they'll go on tours. And the big difference that I should mention here is that this is not like that open house sort of concept. This one is, we actually want those new students on campus from 7:30 to 12:30 so that we can go through 7:30 to 12 so that we can teach them all the things that, they can get to know some of the teachers, meeting the counselor and just going through meeting me, talking to Mr. Gregory, making sure they've got the proper uniform, making sure that they're ready for that first full day of school. And then on Wednesday, the 17th, we are from 7:30 to regular time, 2:15 dismissal. And for that orientation, it's all students. But again, it's orientation. So we've got a lot of changes that are happening in the middle and high schools this year. And we're going to go through and have a schedule of sessions that all students are welcome to attend. And then on Thursday, it's business as usual, regular Thursday day of school.
All right. And I do have a question as well. What about buses? What if I take the bus? Do I take the bus to school on Tuesday if I'm in lower school or upper school? How does that work?
The buses are running at the same time. So if there are students on a Tuesday who who are on the bus, we have a program from 7:30 to 12, as Mr. Wessel said. But at 12 o'clock, if need be, and you're one of the students who are like, the only way that I can get home is by a bus, because a lot of our students are older. Parents let them Uber home and whatnot. They can leave at 12 if they can. But if they need to stay around for that bus, we'll have a space available with supervision so that they can hang out and probably in the library so that they can get some reading done and just settle into the year. But we'll have a space for them with supervision to keep them here until the bus leaves at 2:30 on that day.
And then for lower school, Jordan, maybe you were going to jump in and say it, but we are asking new students not to take the bus on Tuesday because the point of orientation on Tuesday is for the child to come with their parents so they feel more comfortable their first time on campus and so that the parent can then meet the teachers. So, but if you put a child on a bus, then that sort of defeats the point of that, and we don't have a full program for the full day because that teacher is going to be busy meeting other parents. So it would make more sense if you can't come with your child on Tuesday to just wait and send them on Wednesday with everybody else, and we'll make sure they're well taken care of and well looked after.
Right. And that first question was a lot of layers, right? Especially with the bus. But again, we are happy just in general to have parents back and students back. I can't wait until Tuesday to see the parents come in, especially in lower school, to accompany their child into the class and to see the school and to see the teachers. That's going to be an amazing sight after so much we've been through in the world in these past couple of years. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to another topic. And we have a lot of questions coming in, and I love it. And we're going to keep moving on because we want to answer those questions right away. All right. So, Jordan, this is going to go to you and Amber as well. How to prepare for early years. If I'm a child, if I'm a parent, what do I bring to school for my child? How do I prepare as a parent? Do they wear masks? Do they not? What do they need to know for pre-K to KG2?
So I would say the number one thing that you need to prepare for, especially if this is your child's first year in school, you're going to think that it's going to be very difficult for your child to separate and go to school. It's going to be more difficult for you than it is for your child. And it's a hard thing for a lot of parents to understand and accept. I have a 2.5-year-old myself, and she's getting ready to go to school in the not too distant future. And I understand that it's going to be tougher for me than it is for her. Your kids are adjustable. They are adaptable. They are sponges. They're going to enter a new situation, and they're going to immediately start soaking up all of that new knowledge and experience that they're getting. And you need to let them do that. Give them that opportunity to be that sponge and soak it up, because they're going to be excited every day. And you may be nervous, but I can, trust me that your kids are in good hands here, and they're going to come home just so excited every single day. In terms of what do you need for them, this year, and Mark's going to talk about this a bit more, but we do have canteens back open for younger students. We do ask that you probably send food from home rather than rely on the canteen to purchase food every day. So they'll need to bring food with them every day. Our students in pre-K and KG1, if they are a late pickup, then they will need to bring bedding because they will be taking a nap every day. And we'll get into some details on that later on. And other than that, they just need to wear their uniform and bring a smile. And we'll take care of everything from there.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of questions that come around to, how to prepare, what to do. And this does seem like a first normal, quote unquote, normal year. So I think a lot of people are just kind of worried, like, hey, I haven't done this in a couple of years. What do we do? And for pre-K, KG2, could be your first time as a parent in a normal school year, right, for your child. So very interesting question. Amber, do you have anything to add?
No, I think just feeding off of what Jordan said about the kids being excited. I think one way you can help them prepare, especially if they're little, is just talking to them in advance and preparing them for going to school, what it's going to be like, and hearing their excitement and then asking about it at the end of every day and just letting them have that chance to talk about it and really getting excited about school with your child.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. We're going to move on to elementary, which we keep the same people for the responses, right? For elementary as well. So Mr. Jordan, Ms. Amber, what do we do for elementary kids, grade 1 through grade 5?
I think really in some ways it's the same thing, right? You give them this, we provide a lot of supplies. We provide the environment for them. We ask that your kids come to school ready and prepared and on time every day. We have a very busy schedule this year. Our daily schedule, for those of you that have been with us for a while, we have been able to change our schedule finally into a 5-day schedule. You don't have to remember the 6-day rotation anymore. But because of that, we've had to compress things down. And so we have a really busy day. Every minute of the day is valuable and important. And we need your kids here for every minute of it. So please make sure that they are here on time, ready to learn. Our first period begins at 7:30, which means that they should be in class, unpacked at their desk, ready to go at 7:30. Okay. So that's really the main thing that we ask, is that your kids come on time and ready to learn.
I'll build on that if I can. I always like to think of examples, building on exactly what Jordan just said. Every year, and every student in every class will have a slightly different schedule. So first period might be art, first period might be math, first period might be English. But every year we have 1 or 2 parents that no matter how many times we talk to them will habitually show up a little late. And if that first period class happens to be math, or that first period class happens to be reading and writing, for example, that student starts to significantly fall behind in one of their very important core subjects. And then we hit Christmas or January and we have concerns about, hey, I'm really worried about my kid. Why is he doing so poorly in math? Well, because he misses half of his math class every day. So I know that 7:30 is awfully early. Trust me, I'm here way before that. And I am not a morning person, but it is imperative that your kid is here on time. Otherwise, they're missing important learning. And you pay us a lot of money for that. So we want to make sure you're getting every penny's worth.
Well said. Well said. All right. So we're going to move, for the sake of time, we're going to move to middle school. And this is a Mr. Wessel special, right? So Mr. Wessel, can you help prepare the parents for the middle school experience?
Yeah. So on the first day, what do they need? They need to be, hopefully they're in their uniform. If they got a mobile phone, it's somewhere where we can't see it for the whole day. And they need to make sure that they do need to make sure that they've got their laptop. And we really insist they have a laptop. We've got a 1-to-1 program. And in those first couple of days, especially, there's going to be a lot of information about how to use those platforms that they're going to need to be able to turn assignments in and check on their schedules and all of that. So if they come dressed in their uniforms, mobile phones away, laptops ready to learn what we're doing, and then with some basic stationery, they'll be ready to go. And
then Mr. Wessel, in terms of the orientation, are we doing a tour of the entire building, or for the kids, or how's that going to work?
So on the new student day, so on Tuesday the 16th, as part of their plan, there will be a tour. So they'll get to see all the buildings, walk them around, and say, hey, you've got English with Miss Square. This is where you're going to be. So they'll be able to see everything and get their bearings before all the rest of the students show up on campus. So hopefully once everyone is here, they have an easier time navigating, because it's a big building, a lot of hallways, and sometimes you get turned around and things look the same. But yeah, we'll give them a good in-depth tour.
All right, sounds good. All right, we're going to move to now Mr. Gregory to explain about the grade 9 to grade 12 experience and what to prepare for this school year.
Yeah, I think it builds on exactly what Jeff said. It's not going to be really that much different in the orientation. Bring your own device and make sure you have that with your laptop or your iPad. I recommend laptop as always, and I know you're going to ask me that probably at some stage. But a laptop over an iPad, because you get to type. I think the only real difference with the high school program is that the AP courses, I know we have a 6-week vacation coming up in November to December. That doesn't mean that the AP program realized that Qatar is having a World Cup. So AP students should come in ready to go straight away hard, because those teachers are ready to go, I'd say, on Thursday. So if the students have already decided that they're in those AP classes and it's in their schedule, they need to be ready to hit the ground running and be ready for work straight away. I know we tend to do a lot of introductions and make sure to go over class norms and whatnot. But those AP classes are going to be very fast, just because we're missing 4 weeks that we used to have for the AP teaching.
All right. And so other than that, I think we have covered pretty much everything, because there are questions that parents have, and I'll leave them to the end, right? We're not going to go through it at this moment. But at the end, there are going to be some questions about similarly to these expectations. We're going to move forward, though. We're making good time. We're going to move forward. The next topic, so notable personnel and programmatic changes in both lower and upper schools, right? So what are we doing different from a program perspective in lower school, or better and also in upper school as well? And then are there any key positions that were added, or any key personnel that are going to be filling some positions in lower school or in upper school? So let's move around the opposite way. Mr. Gregory, can you start this one first?
Well, I think if you're going to talk about the new personnel added, Mark, you might be best to do Miss Rebecca, because she's a K through 12, I think. And then Mr. Wessel can sort of talk about the head of middle school. Head of middle school is going to be Mr. Wessel. Sorry, someone just came in my door. It's still a school day, so people still want to see me. But yeah, he's going to be in charge of the behavior, academics. He's going to be sort of the point of reference for parents, students, and teachers in middle school, just to help me with the bandwidth, because we are getting to a stage where we are a bigger school now. We have a waiting list in grade 8 and grade 10, 11, and 12 already. Those spots have filled up, and we have a pretty big student body, thankfully. So that's only the real difference that we have. We have a few AP teachers who are new and a few new faces teachers-wise, but other than that, that's the only real difference in the leadership structure.
Yeah, and I can jump in then and talk about a new K through 12 position. This year, we had one of our SLT members decide to move back into the classroom, who was acting as an instructional coach, and we're excited to have her back in the classroom because she is an awesome teacher. And then we had a position that we needed to look at, and we made a decision this year, instead of going with an instructional coach position. There's a lot of literature out there that talk about clear and targeted intervention programs. And I think we've always had a really strong student support team here. But post-COVID, I've been doing a lot of research about and we've talked about this in many of our other StreamYards, but every international school, in fact, every school has some disparity of ability in students' abilities in classrooms. But COVID has tended to take that and exacerbated it. So the kids who would have been higher in ability are even higher, and the kids who would have been lower are even lower. And the literature that I have read and studied states that you need a clear targeted intervention plan for how you're going to deal with that gap in order to meet those kids' needs at the higher end, everybody on grade level and those below grade level. So we're excited to bring in a new students support coordinator, and that is Miss Rebecca, who was formerly in 3rd grade, and she will now be K through 12, and she will be the department head for the student support team.
All right. And then Mr. Wessel, anything that you want to add on to this before we move to lower school?
Yeah, just Mr. Gregory did a good job of explaining it, but the middle school and high school are very distinct groups that have distinct needs, and in addition to being able to sort of deal with the bandwidth issue with the large number of students that we've got now, it also provides for having me in there as sort of taking in the head of middle school. It provides a focal point where they'll be able to get better personalized, where they're not just coming to, is it do I go to Mr. Wessel? Do I go to Mr. Gregory? We can sort of focus in. And then we've made some structural changes there in middle school where we've got some grade leaders, some middle management. And so that's going to be another point of support for the teachers, for the parents and the students. And then also in the same subject as we've expanded our provision when it comes to student support in the middle school, and added another position there where we've got students who have some catching up to do, and they need a little bit of extra support. We've got another distinct class just for that, where we're going to be able to focus in on those. So middle school, there's exciting stuff happening, and we're looking forward to having the kids on campus and just seeing how, it's when you build something and you hope that it takes off and flies and does a good job. So we're looking forward to testing the ship here.
Definitely. I love the new structure that we have in the school and that big theme of support. We know that COVID did a number to our child's development, in terms of academically, maybe social, emotionally as well. So support is needed. And I think we really are doing a good job of keeping that support, structured within what we do in upper school, lower school, and in middle school. Well, upper school is middle school, but you know what I mean. Middle school, high school, lower school. So, all right, Mr. Jordan, in terms of lower school, what do you have for us in terms of notable personnel and programmatic changes? And if Mr. Jordan's not here, maybe Amber might be a little more.
There's a few people at me in Jordan's door right now, so we're trying to do both. But apologies, he should be back shortly.
I see. We can skip ahead. No worries, we'll skip ahead. The next.
Sorry, Justin, I had to step out there for a second. What was the question for me?
No worries, you're right on time. Just wanted to talk about any notable personnel or programmatic changes. So anything that we've done to improve or add to our curriculum, or in terms of anybody who was hired in lower school that was a different hire or a new position. Do we have anything of note to discuss for lower school?
I think we have a lot of new staff this year, and honestly, I'm excited about all of them. I think we really, every time you have personnel changes, the goal is to, keep the quality of education the same or improve it. And I think we have definitely managed to do that this year. We lost some key people that we're sad to see go, but we have some really good people coming in. I think the people of note to talk about would be that we do have a brand new PE department. We were sad to lose Mr. Romero, but Mr. Romero has moved up to secondary. Eamon and Jeff have stolen him from us, and we're sad to see him go. But we have two new people that came in for PE, and we are very excited to have both of them on staff. And then I believe that we already mentioned Ms. Rebecca, who is taking on the student support coordinator job. And it's very excited to have more bandwidth on that team so that we can better meet the needs of all of our students, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to help kids. And the more personnel that we have and the better qualified those personnel are, the better we're able to do that. And so we're excited.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So next topic will be class lists. That's a big topic from lower school, and then student schedules for upper school. And so we'll start the reverse. So for Jordan, for class lists, where are we at in terms of the class list for lower school? And then after that, Mr. Gregory, can you talk about the student schedules and when will the students know their schedules for this school year? So Jordan, you can go first.
Sure. So class lists are finalized. I have gotten a number of requests from parents asking for students to be put together, asking for a specific teacher, asking for some students to be separated. I am so sorry that we can't accommodate all of your requests. But I can say that we do our best to accommodate the requests that we have when we make the class lists. The class lists have been set for a couple days now with a couple tweaks here and there. At this point, any new requests that come in, unfortunately, we can't accommodate them. And I do apologize for that. We will be releasing class lists, well, not class lists, but we'll be releasing information to parents about who their child's teacher is early next week. So please look out for that to come home from us on who your child's teacher is early next week.
So with the schedules, which is like always the number one question for most of the students who are either starting or the students who are coming back. So this is a thing that we work on. We have scheduling software, and we've been working on this from March since the course request forms that the returning students have added. And there is a form that's out that the new enrollments fill in. Now with grade 11 and grade 12, I don't really build their schedules yet until I meet them individually and go through the transcripts with them, because we have students coming from multiple different areas, different curriculums. So I want to meet them individually and personally so that we can get the best schedule built for them. So I do that one-to-one. The schedules will be released on August 16th, which is Tuesday. So every student will have access to that. We will show the new enrollments on Tuesday. That's part of the orientation, how to get access to their schedules and to see that. The one thing that's going to be a little bit different this year is we have been very flexible in previous years with students changing courses. That cannot really be the case anymore because we are getting to the size where the scheduling software took all of this data in March and April last year, put it together and ran an algorithm that takes 16 hours. So if every student in the building wants to come to me now and change their class, that doesn't necessarily work because the algorithm has planned it on what we have from previous. So I will still listen to students who want to change classes and if they have valid reasons, but if they fill it in last year and that's what they selected, we had a 96% success rate with the schedules and what they selected, which is much higher than the average norm in other schools across the country and the world. It's usually around a 92% that I've read from the EdVal scheduling software that I've heard. So we're really proud about that. So I'll be restricting changes this year, but the biggest question is when do you get the schedule, and that will be Tuesday.
All right, so I hope that answers the questions for the class lists and student schedules. That was probably one of the number one questions that I received. And I said, come to the live stream, come to the live stream. Sometimes you have to build leverage. If you want something, come to the live stream, you'll get the answer from there. So hopefully that helped with a lot of parents, all right? Now, Mr. Mark, you've been quiet, but you're quiet no more because I have the next topic for you, all right?
Hey.
This is the rapid antigen test and back to school procedures. What do we have so far when it comes to that topic?
So you know what? Overall, I think the latest protocols were all pretty positive. I would be lying if I said I was excited about the idea that we have to wear masks again. I was slightly disappointed from a personal standpoint just because it's hot right now. And they're hard to breathe in those things. And I know some of our parents, students, and teachers are all going to feel the same way. But I also understand the decision. I understand that it's for the good of everybody and it's for personal safety. So just like everybody else, even if I don't love it, I'll be wearing a mask now that kids are back on, as soon as kids are back on campus. And we'll be asking your kiddos to do the same. So please make sure they are coming to school with masks. And please make sure at home you let them know the importance of wearing those masks. Similarly, they are asking us to do the home rapid antigen test with the form for collection again. The latest information that I have, though, says that will not be a weekly. That could change, of course, but at the moment, what they're saying is that will not be a weekly thing like we did in the past, but they just need to do it. Every student needs to do it before their first day on campus. So please make sure your student is showing up that very first day on campus with a rapid antigen test form. Those forms will go out with reminders. Most of you probably have them from last year. Form hasn't changed, but we will make sure Mr. Justin blasts those out to you guys in multiple formats. Once again, and I can't stress that one enough, right? Because we are all crazy, super excited to have your kids on campus, and it's going to be hugs and kisses and everybody running around, and it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be like a big party, and we're going to want to get those kids into classes, and everybody's going to be excited. And if your kid doesn't have his form and gets sent to a waiting room where he has to call mommy and daddy to come and get him or get the form, that's going to be a huge disappointment. And I don't want any of my students' days to start out that way. So please, for their sake, make sure they've got that rapid antigen form. Other than that, I'm pretty excited. Our canteens are going to be open. We're going to have after-school activities. Buses are back to 100%. Aside from us having masks on, it's going to be a pretty normal year.
Yeah, I'm excited about that as well. As soon as you hear like the canteens are back, we're in a good space because they never opened those for a long time. So that's a great thing. We'll talk about that a little bit more in one of the other topics. But Mark, don't sit back yet. I have another topic for you after this, which is status of sports, field trips, and after-school clubs, or ASAs, after-school activities.
Every information that we have at this point in time says all of those things are back. To be honest, the communication was a little vague because it didn't say we could, it didn't say we couldn't, but it did give us all the guidelines for what we should do when we do it, implying, and we have sought clarification, but my inside sources, if you will, say that that all that information was put out to show us how to do sports activities and field trips once again, because we're allowed to do so. So that's my current understanding. And sorry if I'm intentionally cryptic at times. I just constantly want to say my current understanding, because we know that whatever our current understanding is could change with the next circular, and I don't know when that will come out.
All right. So the next topic, probably for Mark as well, is back to school night. That usually comes up within the first couple of weeks of us opening school. So I didn't know if we had any type of date or roundabout time frame when back to school night will occur.
We do have that date. I didn't know that was going to be a question, sorry. And there's a lot of other dates that we've talked about over the last couple of days, and we're looking at the calendar. But we do have back to school night planned. As Mr. Justin said, it will be within these first 2 weeks of school. And that is, we often get asked that question of, well, if the new students got to meet their teacher on day one, how come I didn't? It's because you're a returning student and you know the school and you know our systems, and we are going to make sure you have that. We haven't been able to do it in 2 years, unfortunately, but we will this year. And so you'll have that chance to come back on campus and meet your students' teachers in these next few weeks pretty quickly. That night is not a night where there's a lot of, it's not the night like we will have parent-teacher conferences 2 times this year. Those are much, much more in depth. We will not have enough assessments at that point to really get into your individual students' grades, progress for the year, that sort of thing. This is a meet and greet and get to know each other event.
Yeah, a lot of new parents were asking, a lot of the returning parents were asking, well, if I'm in upper school, how do I see like my child's teachers, right? So obviously there'll be like 8 different teachers. Back to school night is a perfect night to meet those teachers.
Exactly.
Lower school is a little bit easier, right? Because they essentially have a homeroom teacher that teaches the core subjects. But for Mr. Gregory and Mr. Wessel, it's a lot more teachers that these students see. And so back to school night, I think, would be the best night for that. All right.
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll move forward. We talked about this a little bit, but the status of student cafeterias, parent cafe, and water fountains. So student cafeterias are on, as it seems, right? Now, about the water fountains, I guess this needs clarification in parent cafe. So where are we on those things at this moment? The parent cafe and water fountains, are they open, limited? Not at all.
We haven't had clarification on the water fountains. I'm waiting on that, but I anticipate that those will be open. And the parent cafe, now that one of the things I'm most excited about is our parents can come back on campus. Finally.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take that big sign that I had out front that said you are not allowed on campus. I'm going to take it out back and burn it. So we're going to get rid of that sign. And we are happy to have you back on campus and happy to have the parent cafe open again. We will update you shortly with the exact hours that the parent cafe will be open. We're meeting about that to finalize all the parent cafe information on Sunday. But in brevity, it will be open.
Yeah. All right. That's a good thing. So it looks like we're moving right along. The next topic is for new parents, payment of term 1 fees. So I'll take this one here. So you should have received an email from me about a welcome back message, a must read welcome back message. So in that email, there was a link where a letter from Mr. Mark, and then a letter from your friendly PRE, myself. And then in my letter, it was a topic of new parents, payment of term 1 fees. So if new parents, if you haven't paid your term 1 fees now, you want to make sure that you pay it on or before August 16th. All right. If you don't pay it by that time, it could be in jeopardy of your child's start date being delayed. All right. So that's just something that I wanted to make sure that new parents saw in the email. But again, if you haven't paid your term 1 fees at this time, you want to make sure you pay that as soon as possible, or you might have delay in your child's start time if they're not paid on or before the 16th of August. Now, good news is that we're open this Saturday. So if you haven't came in today, we are open on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., both the cashier and also the uniform store. So we'll also be open on the 20th, the 27th, and September 3rd, a cashier and uniform store, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. as well. So you do have a chance this Saturday to make that payment for all new parents who haven't made term 1 fees, or for any parents who needs to make a fee payment. This is your chance on Saturday, this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay. So hopefully that will help. And then if you have any questions about fee payment or payment structures, here is the email address here. Feel free to email our friendly accounts team or our finance team. They will answer any of your inquiries about how to make payments, different methods of payments, payment plans, term 1 fees, anything that you have questions for. This is the email address to address that on. Okay. So we're moving right along to another topic. We talked about this a little bit, but bus transportation. Mr. Mark, do you want to just talk about that really quickly, just to reiterate that they are normal on the 16th of August? But I'll let you go ahead and talk. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll elaborate on something since we're talking buses. Towards the end of last year, you might have noticed that most of our buses changed. Pretty excited that a GEMS affiliate, a GEMS subsidiary organization called STS Transportation has now moved to Qatar. STS runs all the buses for all the GEMS school in the UAE and for many other schools. And so if you see what looks like an old-fashioned big yellow school bus driving around the city, it's a GEMS school bus. And those buses are the most up to date. They have the best facilities. They have the video cameras. They have a mobile tracking app, so I can see where each of my buses is in the city at any given time. They are pretty sophisticated buses, so we are excited to have them, and we are excited that they will be functioning at 100% capacity again. I'm also excited is maybe you never want to say increase in fees and say excited at the same time, but due to the increase in level of service and the cost of importing the buses, there will be a slight increase in fees. The only reason I use the word excited is I delayed it. because I just didn't want to start the school year that way. So that will not happen until second semester after Christmas. But I just want to give a heads up that that's coming, so I'm not being disingenuous at all. But yeah, we have 100% capacity on some really excellent buses. So please see Mr. Tharka on your way into school if you want to join one of those buses.
All right, thank you so much for that. And to email Mr. Tharka, I'm actually going to change this because I want to put it on the screen. Give me 1 second here. You'll see the email address come on shortly. This is Mr. Tharka, or the transport coordinator. This is his email address. If you haven't registered for the bus yet, if you have any questions about the bus, if you have any questions about your pickup, drop-off times, things like that, this is the email address to email that right away, okay? So email bus transportation. This will be the email address on the screen for all of those concerns or questions that you have, okay? All right. So moving right along, the next topic is Saturday's cashier uniform store. So it's self-explanatory. So we're opening the cashier in the uniform store on Saturdays for the next 4 Saturdays, inshallah. Next 4 Saturdays. So the 13th of August, the 20th of August, the 27th of August, and the 3rd of September, okay? The times of their opening will be from 9 a.m. and the time of their closing will be for 1 p.m. So you have a chance, if it's really busy during the week and there's so many people at the cashier, so many people at the uniform store, you have the ability to come on a Saturday at your convenience to make those payments or to get the uniform that you need for your child or children, okay? So that is something that I think we've done every year, and it's been a great thing for our parents because it creates some flexibility for them to make the necessary purchases that they need, okay? The next topic is more for me that I will discuss with you. Purchase your pret-a-portrait photos. Now, if you're new, you're saying, what is pret-a-portrait? So if you're new, don't worry about that. But if you are here and returning student this year, you have taken a pret-a-portrait photo, you still have the ability to purchase your pret-a-portrait photo. Every student should have received what is called like a sitting ID paper, where you have like your unique ID, your unique code. And that will allow you to go onto the Pret-a-Portrait website to make a purchase for your pictures. But in case you forgot that or don't know where that code is at this time, you make sure you email Pret-a-Portrait. So the email is customerservice@pretaportrait.qa, okay? So this is the email address to email Pret-a-Portrait to make any photo purchases from last year's photo shoot, okay? So I'll leave that up there for a couple more seconds. We're almost done. We're almost at the tail end to answer all of the questions that you have so far. So thanks for being patient thus far. All right. So let's move on. The next one I will address as well. Missing QIDs and admissions documentation. So if you're a family who registered in our school who did not have a QID for your child at that time, and you forgot to send it to the admissions department, make sure you do that as soon as possible. All right. Without your QID, you cannot legally and physically start in the school in the state of Qatar. All right. So you want to make sure that we have that QID copy on file. And as well, any missing admissions documentation that we need, it's important that you get that to us as soon as possible to, make sure there's no delays in your child starting school. So therefore, I'm going to also include the admissions email address for the admissions secretary who handles all of the documentation and paperwork. So you want to make sure that you email this person that's on the screen, scan that QID for us, scan that birth certificate, report cards, passport photo, anything that you have to give, you can scan it directly, email it directly to Miss Mia, and she's the admissions secretary here at our school, okay? So I'm going to move forward and got 2 more subjects. The next one is refer a friend, or the 4% discount that a lot of families know. So Mr. Mark always says this every single week, that our parents are our best and biggest ambassadors. And that's an absolute fact, 125.8%, right? Parents are the biggest ambassadors. So therefore, why not have us thank you for being the biggest ambassadors and talking our school up and all the Facebook forums, and then those play dates that you have with other families, or just talking with, people at your job. Why not, thank you for that. So our 4% discount of your student tuition fees is emblematic of that. That's your thank you. So whenever you have a child, that you want to introduce to the school, if that child successfully, registers and passes the assessment, and your name is written down by that parent that, wanted to give you the referral, then, the parent who referred that person will get the 4% discount. Okay. A lot of people have been using it for a long time. And the good thing is that it's not limited. So if you're a family, you introduce 2 other families to the school, and those kids are going to the school, you are entitled to an 8% discount if your name is on the paperwork for admissions as a family who referred them. Okay. And it could be 12% for 3 students, 16% for 4 students. And it goes on and on and on. Okay. So this is something that we've been doing for a long time, but we want to just reiterate it and make sure that everyone in the community knows about this Refer a Friend program. Okay. You are our biggest ambassadors. So we really thank you in the form of this 4% discount. Last but not least, with the welcome back email. So originally, I think on Monday, I sent a welcome back email that was like a must read for all families. Again, that's the letters from Mr. Mark and a letter from myself. There was a glitch that is happening in our mass email system. And so some of you have said, I didn't receive it. And so I really appreciate you all who didn't receive it and sent me an email so I can send it to you individually. So at this time, we still have this issue. We're still currently troubleshooting this at this moment. And I have no word from corporate about the actual resolution to it. So at this time, I'm going to put my email address on the screen. Okay. If you have not received my email from, I believe it was on Monday, and it's titled GAAQ Must Read, welcome back email. If you haven't received that in your inbox, please email me and I will individually send it to you so you have access to that welcome back email. You need to have this email in your possession to be fully understandable of what's going to happen for next school week, and then also for the beyond as well. It's going to prepare you. Plus this live stream will do so as well, but at least this will be in a written form. So please email me if you have not received that welcome back email. All right. Good. Ooh, I feel like I need a water break. There's a lot of information there, right? All right. So now it's the time for parent Q&A session. So we have your questions. So now we have to answer them. All right. So I'm going to go through the comments and see what everyone is talking about and see how we can help everyone. So it's a lot. So we're going to see how fast we can get through this. I know. Yeah, it's a lot. So let me see here. Yeah, it's a lot of highs and everything like that. Nice to see you again. So here we go. I'll put this one up first. So hi, I'm with my brother Khaled, who's going to start with your school next week at KG1 as a new student who transferred from Newton to GEMS American Academy. Definitely want to say thank you for transferring to our school. Thank you for trusting our school. Hopefully, I don't know if I did a tour with you or not, but if I did, welcome. And if I didn't, I could easily do a tour for you and your family if you want to see the full facilities. Or if not, you can come in on Tuesday to do the tour with your child. And thank you again for, like I said, trusting our school and making that transition to GEMS American Academy. All right. So the next one is, so kindly consider the after-school activities as our kids did not have these activities for the last 2 years. So I think Mr. Mark said that we are fully on for ASAs. And so that information will be coming out at some point. I don't want to give any dates or anything like that because I don't know. But that information will be coming out soon in terms of how to actually sign up or register for ASAs this year. Okay. This is a similar question. Will there be after-school activities this school year? Yes. When? You'll find out from me. I'll send an email out at some point to let you know about when to register. All right. And so Amy says, hello. Says, why can't the students get their schedules ahead of school so they feel more comfortable on the first day? Even I got my schedule a few days early back in the 80s. Yes, I'm old. All right. So who wants to answer Amy's question there?
So the schedules, you can't get them beforehand because right now I'm doing a balancing act. We had 120 new enrollments, so that's 20% of our student body. So as you can imagine, I'm still building schedules, and part of that process is then balancing class sizes. It's a very complex process, again, building a schedule where students have electives and you have to coordinate and collaborate it. There's 256 classes, 6 through 12, and you've got to make sure that teachers are free at times and that nothing overlaps. That's why we have a scheduling software. And when we're adding a large portion of our student population in the last week or two, just before school starts, we have to move some students around in the schedule to make sure that the class sizes are 25 and below. So that's pretty much how it's done. I think back in the 80s, it was probably still pencil and pen and done that way. It's a lot more complicated for an American system where students really only have maybe 4 subjects in common and then they have 4 elective choices. So it's because we have so much student choice that we offer a program with over 20 AP courses, and students get to take most of those courses from 10th grade up. So yeah, it's one of those pet peeves. People are always like, scheduling is easier than, the schedule should be easy to make, and why can't we make this work, and that type of thing. But it's a very complicated process, and I don't launch it until the day of, because that way I don't upset anybody, because if I move somebody from block 8 to block 6 psychology over the other way around, then they don't know about it, and then on Tuesday they don't care that they haven't been switched.
Yeah,
I'm also old.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Jeff. I'm also old. I remember the 80s, and I can tell you I've been in education for over 30 years, scheduling, and I've done Post-it notes, papers, whiteboards. I've done software, but like every year, high school scheduling gets more and more complicated. Our kids have a lot more choice than I had when I was a kid. And what Eamon's doing, he's like a scheduling wizard. He's got like a hat on and magic wands and stuff going on in there right now. It is not as easy as it did when I used to do them with pencil and Post-it notes. So, and the fact that he gets that percentage he was talking about, that's all part of, like, he's a perfectionist with this stuff. He's not going to give up on that until he's got it almost perfect. He'll get it to 97%. And I literally will say, like, Eamon, that's better than almost anybody in the world. Stop. And he's like, no, I can do better. So that's why it takes so long. So kudos to you, Mr. Gregory.
Yeah, I was just going to point out that high percentage of that. What that means is that the students all chose their classes, and that means that they can almost guarantee that they've got the courses and the classes that they asked for. Right? In what order, it doesn't matter so much. If they asked for a certain elective, they're almost definitely going to get it. So they know what they're going to have, and it's just the order, and we'll give it to them as soon as they get here.
All right. Thank you for answering that question. Before we go ahead, I want to say that thank you for the families who have emailed me about not receiving the welcome back email. I'm looking at my emails now. Thank you for doing that. I will definitely send that out to you, if not today, tomorrow at the latest, inshallah. All right. Also, Eamon got a little love here from a parent, Miss Miriam. It's good to hear from you as well. And definitely looking forward to start off the new year with you as well. And I got your email, Miriam, as well. So thank you for sending that over. All right. Next, let's move forward to Zainab. Zainab says, when will we receive from our kids home teachers regarding details and information about the new school year? I think this is a lower school maybe oriented question. So Jordan, do you want to go ahead and answer that?
Yeah, that'll be sent out early next week before any students enter campus on Tuesday. So we're hoping to get that out probably Sunday afternoon. If not, then Monday morning is when those will be sent out.
Okay. That's good. That's good. All right. And then have a special guest in the audience. I'm not sure if he's here right now, but Jack, thanks for that. We definitely look forward to having a wonderful year as well. Hopefully for the same for you as well. All right. I think Jack was in the first video of like teachers talking about their experience at GEMS. So I think that was like a while ago, like 5 or 6 years ago. So definitely shout out to Jack for coming here today. So it's the first day of school, the 16th or the 17th. Juju, the first day of school for new students will be the 16th. And then on the 17th, new and returning will be at school. All right. And then your parents, I think, should have the email about this. And we also discussed the time frames of those days as well. So hopefully that helps you. All right. Let's go here. So, sorry, welcome, Manor. Thank you for being here as well. Going on to another question. Zainab has another question here. Will the school cafeteria open? Yes, for right now, it will open. But Mr. Mark, will they have the opportunity to do the meal plan again? You know how last time we had the non-vegetarian, vegetarian, we had the menus that we send out every week to the parents. What does that look like this year?
That is a very good question, and I would love to give you a very good answer. My best answer, though, and my most honest answer is I don't know that information. And I am now going to add that to Sunday's SLT meeting so that we do know that information by the time your kids come on campus. And we will get that to you ASAP. I promise. This is, keep in mind, we haven't had these for 2 years. Yeah. So we have one of our running, it started almost as a joke, but things we used to do has been the theme of the year, is trying to remember how did we do that before? Mm-hmm. And this is one of those things. So thanks for reminding us of that, Justin.
Definitely. That's what I'm here for. Also, too, the food was good, so that's why I'm asking as well. I might take a jab at the food. Right, it was really good last time we had it. So I just wondering for that. So yeah, we'll get an answer for you, everyone. We'll get an answer for you on that. Miriam, please discuss school calendar for the World Cup. So, Mark, I'll let you take that in terms of the dates and everything, what that looks like.
Yep. Happy to do that one as well. So it's a bit of a funky schedule. The school calendar is available. It's on the school website, and I think you can get it from the Raptor report too, can't you, Justin?
Yep.
Yeah. So what it's done is I call it the year of 2 summers, which for me I kind of like because I didn't get a summer for 2 years in a row because of COVID. So I think we're due the year of 2 summers, but we got a haul right now. You're used to a lot of breaks in our schedule. You won't see that day one hits, and we're flat out until November 19th when the World Cup starts, and then we are out of school until we get back from winter break on the January 2nd, and then at that point. We have another long haul. That one does have 2 breaks. It will have a spring break, and then we obviously have a Eid break, and then we go to the end of the year. So it's other than that, the calendar is the same, the hours are the same, the things are the same, but it's just the weeks have changed a bit, and we're not going to have quite as many breaks because we have a 6-week break at winter break instead of a 2-week break. But please check out the calendar on the website or on the Raptor report. And if you have any questions, let us know.
All right. Next question. Are kids going to wear masks?
Yep. Sorry. The little guys don't have to. So the KG guys do not have to wear masks, just like they did previously. But grades 1 and up, we're all wearing masks, and they're not going to like it, and we're not going to like it. Mm-hmm. But we're all going to do it because it's what we have been asked to do, and it is what is socially responsible.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right. So can we just pop by on the 16th between the time frames? So I guess maybe for lower school, and do the kids need to wear the uniform on orientation? Asking for KG1.
Sure. I will take that one. Yes. Pop by anytime, 7:30 in the morning until 12:30 p.m. Our teachers are expecting you. Again, this is for new enrolled students only. If you were a student here last year, we asked that you wait until the 17th to come because the teachers are going to be occupied meeting their new parents, meeting the new students. Do the kids have to wear a uniform that day? No, they don't. They're coming with you. It's an informal open house sort of a situation for elementary. And we'd like to keep it informal, right? We want people to feel welcomed and comfortable and at ease. So yes, pop by anytime that day, and no uniforms required.
Is it safe to say that uniforms are going to be required on Thursday?
Uniforms will be required from Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
Yes, starting the next day, starting the first full day of school for new and returning students, we do expect full uniform. We recognize that not all families will have been able to purchase all parts of their uniform at this point. So for the first couple of weeks, we tend to be a little lenient on some of the uniform requirements, but we ask that you do your best. If you have the full uniform, please wear it. If you're unable to get the whole thing, wear something as close to it as you can. And then as soon as you're able to get the whole thing, then we'll put that in place. Now, we will have more strict uniform requirements as we move forward once we're sure that all families have been able to purchase theirs.
All right. Next comment. It's been a long time and we missed school. I'm ready to give in the full support and cooperation to the staff and the students, both new and old. I'm happy to meet them all. Thank you. We need that energy. So thank you for that. All right. Let me go to the next comment. It says, what is the program for new children? And are there educational books for English and math and science? I'm not sure what grade this is, everyone, but hopefully you can answer this question.
I'll take that. It sounds like it could be an elementary question. For new students, so our program, the foundation of our program is based on two different programs that we use. For reading and writing, we use a program called the Readers and Writers Workshop. It is a flexible program that is able to meet the kids where they are. There are no textbooks for that. All they would need is a notebook. And then we provide a lot of the texts that they would be using here during the school day. Sorry, folks, they're doing a little construction above my office here.
Wow.
I think we may have to come back to me. I'm going to mute myself for now because it's a little tough to hear me, I think.
I was wondering where it came from. I really was searching. I was muting everybody and I couldn't find it. But thank you, Jordan. All right, so I'm going to go to the next question that we have. This is more upper school oriented. So my child just transferred from another school. She wants to be enrolled in an AP class. What should I do to help her? And then Jeff and I did email her your email address. So I'm not sure if you're the right person for AP, but I think that's what it was. So Jeff, can you put more information on this? How can you help her?
Speak to it really quick.
Yeah.
I think that Mr. Gregory talked about it a little bit at the beginning with the brand new students who have just enrolled. He's going to sit down with them and make sure their schedule is just what they want. So but as far as that is concerned, he's going to look at transcripts and grades and performance in previous school, so that make sure that they're not getting in something that's over their head. But as far as right now, she would have already submitted her course requests. But if there wasn't an AP on that, then she just make sure that she's here. Does it say yeah, make sure that she comes on orientation, on that new student orientation day, and talks to Mr. Gregory. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear because of the drilling upstairs. I think you acknowledged that, Jordan, but it's right above me. But yeah, exactly what Mr. Wessel just said. I will sit down with all of the 10s, 11s, and 12s. If they're interested in an AP course, we look at their entrance map scores just to make sure that they're at the appropriate reading level or maths level if it's a maths AP, and that they've got a good standing. The AP courses, just as a reminder, the advanced placement program, those courses are university and college level courses that are offered in high school. They are extremely difficult courses, even for adults like ourselves. I was the AP calculus teacher, and I've done mathematics my whole life. Even that course is challenging for me. So we just want to make sure that your child can be successful and have that conversation with them. I am also one of those teachers and principals who agree if a student really wants to do something and it's, they're willing to put the work in, I will give them the chance to improve, to try take that course if need be, even though my teachers might look at me sometimes. But that's sort of the benefit of being the principal. I get to tell and pick who goes into those AP courses if they have a good argument as to why.
All right. So we'll move on to the next comment or question. When will Alma be updated? change the grades?
I don't know what I might ask for a rephrase of the question. And Alma is updated on it's an open, parents have access to it. As soon as an assessment is done, I was just talking with my staff today, they put that in, the grades in. I think the Alma updated is like, when is our schedule available? Again, that's Tuesday and next week, August 16th. But grades and the grade book is something that is always in fluctuation. It's always changing, and parents have access to that and are able to go in and see. I will say that there is a 5-day policy here at the school for grading of assignments, 5 workdays schedule. So the grades, if they had an assignment and it's in Alma and it says it should have been done a week ago, you should see a grade in there a week on from when that assignment was due. So I hope that answers that question, if that's what the sense for it.
I think she's probably talking about the grade level. That's what the new school year rolling out, and that'll be the 16th, like Mr. Gregory said before. So that if it shows that they're still in grade 10, don't worry, they're going to grade 11, and that'll as soon as the school year starts, which is the 16th, then Alma updates, and you'll be able to see everything up to date.
All right. So the next 2 questions I can answer. How can we get the uniform? So our uniform is actually inside the school. We have our own uniform store. You don't have to go outside the school. You can get your uniform inside our school. And again, as I mentioned before, now we're at the end of the school week or work week. So Saturday is the next time. This Saturday is the next time that you can get the uniform for your child, or pay fees on the cashier. So the cashier in our uniform store will be open this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. just for uniform and cashier services. Okay, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Saturday. Next one is laptop is provided by the school. No, the laptop is not provided by the school. Grade 6 to grade 12 students will need a laptop and headphones to attend school, and you provide it from what you already have. If you have a MacBook, if you have a Chromebook, if you have a PC, if you have a laptop keyboard combination, as long as you have a keyboard with a screen, that's important. So you just want to make sure that you provide your own. And if you have any kind of guidelines on if you need like what laptop to get or anything, just email me and I'll get that minimum requirements of what your laptop would need to be for school. Okay. Leanne, we're excited as this is our first year. We are excited to have you in our school as well. Welcome to our Raptor community. All right. Next, what type of computer is the best? I can't tell you that, which one is the best. It's really up to you. So that's a tough one. You want to email me as well. Like I said before, I can give you the minimum requirements, or in the email that I sent you, in my letter, you'll see a section that says parent guide. So that parent guide, actually inside of it, it gives you the minimum requirements for a laptop device. And if you don't have it, like in your email, you'll see it. It'll look like this, right? You'll see a PDF version of that, okay? So you want to make sure you read that, and it'll let you know the minimum requirements to your laptop or computer, all right? Here we go. So where can I find the rapid antigen test form? So Mr. Mark, do you want to address that?
Yeah, we'll be sending that out to you guys ASAP. We just got the it's basically the same form, and if you have the old form, I would accept the old form, but we just got the updated form. Literally, I saw that bong into my inbox while we were in this meeting. So we'll send you the updated form, but if for any reason you don't get the updated form and you have the old form, still use the old form. And Mr. Justin will be sending that out to you probably like 8 times between now and the beginning of school in 19 different formats.
Yep. I'll be bothering everyone. Please forgive me now. All right. All right. So let's go on to another question, I think by Sarah as well. Yes. And should parents also do the test if they're coming with their child for orientation on the 16th? Good question. Very good question.
Honestly, that's a great question. We have no directive to do so. The only directive we have for parents is that they have to show their ETRAs to get onto campus.
Right.
That said, to be honest with you, I think it would kind of be the socially responsible thing if I'm asking all teachers to do it and all students to do it. So while I have no official ability to require you to do so, Sarah, I think that is a wonderful suggestion, and I would appreciate it if people would do that, because it's just going to help keep us all safe.
All right. Next, Mr. Waleed. I saw your email here, so I'm going to email you, not today, but tomorrow after Juma, I'll email you. All right. We'll be able to get that information to you that you're asking for. All right. So thank you for your email. What else? Oh, Mark, we will help you burn that sign. Yes, Werner. Yes, we're going to need your help. You want to come into the party to burn that sign? Let us know. Definitely. That was a funny one when I saw that. So yeah. Good to see you, Werner. Good to see you. All right. We have another one from a parent, Azlifa. When will the parents receive the welcome back email? So as I stated before, there's a glitch. There's an error in the mass communication that we have, email platform. I did receive your email as well, so I will respond to that and send that to you no later than tomorrow evening, inshallah. All right. We're almost done. Here we go. Waleed, when will the link for credit card payment for existing students be available for payment? I don't know if you, yeah.
That should be available now.
Yeah.
So if it, again, it's when Eamon said maybe clarifying the question. I'm not, if you don't have it, I'm not sure why not. What I can do is ask this: can you email Mr. Tyler? If you have Mr. Madden's email, great. Just email Mr. Madden direct. If you don't have Mr. Madden's email and you have that question, can you email Mr. Tyler? And then Justin, when you get that, can you just forward that on to Mr. Madden? Because I know it is possible to do so now. I'm not sure why you wouldn't have the link.
I'm actually going to write it down. So this is link for payment, right? So,
yeah.
All right. So credit card payment. So I'll write that down.
That saves you guys from having to drive all the way down here and come in just to make the payment. And remember, we're talking discounts. Hurry up. School's about to start. You pay early, you pay the full tuition, you get another 4% discount.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The discounts, that's a popular thing. I don't know if parents really know how popular it is. All right. So another question from Amira. Will the uniform store be open on Sunday? Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're open 7:30 in terms of school time, and then we end at 3:30. Come by. We're here. All right. So you can make that payment. And, any questions you have, we're all fully staffed as well. So we're here to answer any questions. How do we get the antigen test form for new students? We will send that out. I can say by Sunday, Mark? Like, they should receive. They're going to receive it. You're going to receive it multiple times between Sunday and Tuesday and Monday night. Trust me. Different formats, different ways. Okay, so you will receive that information. Shout out to Romeo. Welcome back, buddy. I wonder how your first year was. Right. So Romeo is going to be the future president of the Philippines. He was our salutatorian. And we miss him. Definitely one of our great students. Just showing some love. One of our alumni. So good to see you, Romeo. Drop me an email. Let me know how things are going with you. All right. So another question would be from Miss Melanie. Set up for a new system for cafeteria food that is COVID friendly and cashless. Card and pre-order form or pre-order system. That would be so great. Mark, do you have any knowledge on if that could happen or not?
That's a lot of good information there. I'm just trying to reread it and digest everything. And pun intended, since we're talking about the cafeteria.
Right.
Those are all good suggestions. Again, I will add that right now to the SLT meeting on Sunday, and we'll get back to you on that.
All right. It is a good suggestion, though. For anyone who wanted to know about the school calendar, I'll drop the link in the chat for YouTube and also in the comment section for Facebook. So definitely check the school calendar out there for your reference. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. About the tuition fee, we have a voucher coupon for my kids and from the ministry. And if we cannot use this coupon for the first semester, can we use it in the second semester? Mark, I defer to you.
The tuition voucher. Oh, the MOE voucher.
Yes. Yep.
I don't think it matters. Honestly, I don't think it matters when you use the voucher. It's for a specific amount. That's fine.
Yeah. I think so too. But yeah. Okay. So for this question, if you're still here, Asirum, I'm going to put Miss Hannah's email address in the chat. And so she would be the one who would have this information as well in terms of when, if there's an expiration, to use it. So I'm just dropping it here, and you'll see it now in the chat or the Facebook comments, okay? So next question is there support for students who need help in English, math, and science for middle school?
Simple answer, yes.
Yeah, there will be. We're still developing things. Of course, it's a new year. We've got to build on what we had. We have some new ideas, those things, middle and high school. There should be support and will be support in all of those areas and other subjects. And you got to give us some time to set it up. We don't have that information yet.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question here. So can I have the new lower principal TA email? I'm not sure what the TA is, but for Miss Amber's email, I can drop it in the YouTube chat and Facebook comments. Now, I'm not sure if it's activated yet. We're working on that from a corporate perspective, but this will be her email address when it is activated. So I'm not sure when you can email her, but I would suggest if you're going to email Miss Amber, just email Mr. Jordan on that as well. So at least one of them will have it for the foreseeable next week or so, I would say. All right. So I just dropped this for you, Zainab, her email address for your reference. All right. Another question. The vaccinated students need to submit the antigen rapid test form.
Yep.
So simple answer. Okay, gotcha. Next question. Antigen tests required for KG2 students.
Yep.
Right.
Everybody. Vaccinated, unvaccinated, little, big, boys, girls,
Right.
short, tall, you name it. 100%, every kid.
All right. So just rounding out, we're finishing the live stream now. I just wanted to show some of the positive comments from some of the parents. We want to thank you all for making some time to come today and for the illustrious attendance. We love the likes and the hearts for the stream. Really appreciate that. Thank you for attending. Thank you for the wonderful, awesome questions that you all have. And thank you to my esteemed colleagues for answering these questions and being here with me today. All right. I will say in the words in Arabic, ma salama, or I will say salute to you. Have a great weekend and even a better Friday, I guess. A great Thursday, even better weekend. Okay, you know what I mean. Have a good one, guys. See you later.